Oh, racism! Why? Who could have believed my Uncle Joe's lifeless body will swing on the oak tree? I was only 12 years old. When I stood at the window and watched my uncle swing from a tree, and what broke me most was not just his body hanging there. It was the sound of the people cheering. My name is Ruth Carter, the sister to Samuel Carter. I was born in Mississippi, 1932. Tonight, I'm 89 years old, and I will tell you what happened the night they took my uncle. I've carried this story in silence for over 70 years, but silence has been eating me alive. If you're hearing my voice right now, please like this video, follow this page, and leave a comment. Every time you do, you give us grandmas the courage to keep speaking. Don't let our voices die in silence. I grew up in a little wooden house, down a dusty road in the Mississippi Delta. My papa worked the fields. My mama cleaned houses for white families. We didn't have much, but we had each other. And then there was my Uncle Joe. Uncle Joe was tall, strong, and full of laughter. He wasn't much older than a boy himself, only 19, but to me, he was my hero. He taught me how to whistle, how to skip rocks in the river, how to laugh even when our stomachs were empty. But in Mississippi, being a young black man with a strong back and a proud smile was dangerous. One summer evening, Uncle Joe was walking back from town. He passed a white woman on the street. He tipped his hat the way he always did. But someone said he smiled too long. Someone said he looked her in the eye. And in the South in those days, that was enough to sign a death sentence. It was past midnight when I woke up to loud banging at our door. "Open up!" The sound of boots. The sound of men's voices, hard and cruel. My mama shook with fear. My papa tried to hold the door, but the wood cracked under their fists. They stormed in with shotguns and ropes. Their faces weren't covered. They weren't ashamed. They went straight for Uncle Joe. He was asleep on a cot in the corner. He barely had time to stand before they dragged him out into the dirt. My mama screamed. My papa begged. They hit him with a rifle and knocked him down. I was 12. I ran to the window, heart pounding. I hid behind the curtain, peeking through a tear. I should have looked away, but I didn't. They dragged my uncle to the big oak tree at the edge of town. That tree still stands today. I hate that tree. The men shouted, laughing, spitting. A crowd gathered fast. White families came out in their night clothes, children on their shoulders like it was a festival. One man threw a rope over the branch. Another tied it around Uncle Joe's neck. He didn't beg. He didn't cry. He looked up to the sky, and with the strongest voice he had left, he shouted, "Tell Mama I ain't done nothing wrong." Those were his last words. They pulled the rope, and I watched my uncle leave this world. His body hung while the crowd clapped and cheered. When the men were done, they left him there like trash. My papa wanted to cut him down, but neighbors pulled him back. "They'll kill you too," they whispered. So we waited, hours. The sun came up. The crowd left, and my uncle's body swung in silence. Finally, when it was safe, Papa climbed the tree. He cut the rope. My mama caught Joe's body in her arms and screamed until her voice broke. I will never forget that sound. I was 12, and from that night on, I was never a child again. After that, nobody spoke of it. Not at school, not in church, not even in our house. If you brought it up, people would hush you quick. Fear was everywhere. But me? I carried the picture in my head every night. The rope, the tree, the clapping. I married, I had children. I smiled when I had to. But inside, I never stopped hearing his last words. "Tell Mama I ain't done nothing wrong." I am 89 years old now. My children are grown. My grandchildren keep asking, "Grandma, why do you wake up crying in your sleep?" So tonight, I tell the truth, because silence is poison, and memory is the only justice left. I want you to hear me. Hate does not disappear. It just puts on new clothes. It may not look like ropes and trees anymore, but it still walks among us. Don't you ever think it's gone. Don't you ever think it can't happen again. Tell me, child, do you think America has really changed? Or do you believe hate still lives in the shadows, waiting for its chance? And if you had been standing at that window with me, would you have shouted for help or stayed quiet like I did? Thanks for watching. Every time you comment, every time you share this story, you help me carry this heavy load. You help us grandmas speak when we've been voiceless for too long. I am Ruth Carter. I was 12 years old when I watched my uncle die. and I will never ever forget.